333 going live, and I haven't been nervous to go live in years. It's like second nature to me to talk to you. And yet today is so exciting. My guest, Ezria, is going to be with us very shortly, and we have an announcement for you. Now, this is like 5 years in the making. I kid you not. Things have been building and growing in a way that's super organic, natural, powerful, multi-dimensional. And so we're gonna talk about the word and the concept of RESPAIR. What is it? What is it not? And yeah, Ezria is gonna be with us shortly. This is my brother from another mother. Ezria is here. Yay, Ez. View request. He has been in the men's space for 17 years. I kid you not. This is not someone just fresh into personal development coaching.
Hello, my dear. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you feel me?
Crystal clear. Crystal clear. I was saying I haven't been nervous to do a live for ages, like years, but today is so important and exciting that I feel these happy jitters like bubbles.
Cheers. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, I've been looking forward to today, to this live for a long time, so I'm really happy that we get to drop in, share a little bit about that. I heard you were about to share a little bit about RESPAIR. Yes, my dear?
Yes.
Excellent.
It's a word that I came across, as words do. I'm a book doula, right? So words are my language of love. And this word RESPAIR dropped in. It's from the 16th century. It's out of use, and it means a fresh outlook after a time of darkness or depression, or just fresh vitality. And you and I, Az, have been talking about co-creating a space where people can come and get soul level nourished. And this year, of all years in human history, I think people need it. So we decided to work with the concept of RESPAIR. Do we want to RESPAIR? On doit respirer, respirer. Can we say it? So do we want to drop the announcement now, or do you want to wait a little bit? What do you think?
I mean, so I'm super excited, and really we know we're already looking at the things that are going on this year that have been culminating, right? And so I think we share a little bit about us and how we got to it, but absolutely, this is going to be the year for people who are navigating these portals to now come into a space where they can refresh themselves. And it's often the opposite. It's the opposite thing that people choose to do versus what's actually needed. So the inclination is going to be to go hard, go hard, go hard. But really, this is an opportunity for us to get rid of the distractions, to pause, and to really, open up, to catching our breaths in a major way in preparation for what's to come next. So,
yes. So there is a really special place in the world, and it is called the Sonoran Desert, right? And inside this desert is one of the world's top retreat and spa centers. And Ezria and I met in Tulum in Mexico, where we connected with this sister. Her name is Heather Luna, and she's a kundalini master, life force energy channeling master, plus, kundalini yoga. And she reached out to us to say, I feel something culminating that is needed. And I feel that you two need to host a retreat here at CIVANA. And I was like, what is this CIVANA? I don't know about this. And I went on the Instagram and I was like, oh my God.
Blown away, I know.
The codes, the transmissions, the elevated energies with the rawness of that desert. So yeah, we are putting together something that reflects the depth of our story, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So why don't you tell them how we met? Because most friendships don't have the beginning that we did.
Sure. We met actually with a group of our soul family, but one-on-one. So I think that's probably the more magical thing, is that all of us are still close to each other. And we met during the beginning of CBIT, to be wise as we're on Instagram. All of us coming into the space of Mexico, being in Tulum. I would say it was probably a heyday of Tulum's boom and in a time when Tulum was welcoming everyone. People felt a tremendous amount of safety, freedom, expansion, but also we were going through a lot because it's one thing to be here, all surrounded by folks who you don't know but really feel a vibration and a resonance with, and then to begin to build. So we came, I think, in a really pivotal part, and I would go so far as to say world history, and definitely in Tulum history, and it was all over coming into a space of healing, group meditations, which might have been different, especially me coming from working in California and, contracting with the military. Group meditation was not happening in that space with the work. And then moving through the transition of the heart. And so we would drop into these spaces and hold high, I would say high vibrational, intentional, focused and coherent meditations for one, to anchor in a certain vibration into Tulum. Two, to have the space to really express ourselves. So it was like the space holding that we actually have been doing for work, but we were able to receive it and then to just continue to drop in fellowship, as they say.
Yeah.
So it was really amazing to meet in one instance and then be headed off to my beach thing, and you're already doing something at the beach, and then we get to just drop in, and it's like it's just consistently been a high and cohesive and harmonious vibration, and it's full of respect. And so for that to be the foundation of our friendship, of our dynamic, and of a container is quite rare nowadays, from what I've seen. This is experiential observation.
I agree.
So this is a little bit of the story.
Yeah. Every Thursday, right?
Yep.
We started at Gabriel and Ashira's house every Thursday, holding the energy, blasting it out, and then, cultivating our own heart strength so that we could navigate those unprecedented times with grace. It's one thing to be like, I'm going to move to Tulum for a month or two, and then realizing, oh shit, we can't leave. Oh, we've been called to be here, cultivate an energy. And it felt a bit like being enrolled in Hogwarts without knowing that you had signed up for it, because I personally stayed for 4 years and it was like a university degree in energy mastery, shadow work, all of the things that I was going through while walking clients through. And I know you had a similar experience and are still based there.
There's still so much. And also then the similar insight into upbringing. I'm coming from a Haitian household. You actually raised in Haiti as well. And so having that, there's another brother right now, Langston, private. We just met up this morning, these brothers coming from France, and then us digging into where you're from and then getting into the same similar heritage. So that's just, just looking at the different pieces that weave. So just how it was when we met this morning, my brother, Tulum is full of magical moments like that you can actually identify really cool people and grow.
Yes, indeed. And that's where the connections are made. I've moved on to Canada, but I'll be returning to Tulum shortly. And there's a weaving of soul connections, and everyone has a soul contract. It can be short term, long term. It can be a bump contract just to get you back on the right path. Or it can be something like you and I, because when we first met, I looked into your eyes. I was like, oh, nice to meet you. And I was like, oh, shit, we are around a fire. I think we're in Benin. I don't know what's happening, but this isn't normal. Mm-hmm. And in the best way. And those things happen in Tulum a lot, where you're transported to other places you've been with those people. And I remember a couple times as you and I were sitting in meditation or in the circle, after we shared, how was that
in the same,
we
I've
were
been literally sharing the same vision. And it's interesting because I also work with the medicine, called Iboga. And one of the things that the Bwiti speak to in terms of an experience is a shared experience. I know there can be such thing as a shared psychosis, but there are some things that are true and aligned, that you can share. When people come back and they speak to the same thing, there's something to it. And so it always stuck out to me, to feel that connection, and then also to have, that imagery, that really like potent imagery, and then to be able to share and know that there's someone else who's kind of catch things. So we call our group the Sensate group, mostly because there is, a really beautiful divine connection, and also we're all artists. And I thought that was really amazing. Everyone in the group was essentially designing, creating, bringing something through, and really keen on diving deeper into that. And so then this adds to the space that we get to hold together, and the spaces that we've already held, diving into these different aspects.
Yes, as holding space with you has been one of the great joys of my life. Honestly, every time that I have the opportunity, just watching, supporting, it's been really transformative as a space holder to see someone so masterful and just learning by watching your energy and the way that you move, literally physically move, not just moving energy, but there's something very graceful and almost like panther-like when you're moving through a space. It's like a panther activated.
Thank
I'm
you.
like, okay, you know, and that's the kind of thing when I was imagining RESPAIR, what would it look like to have a space with this? I'm a very feminine energy. I'm like the sparkle fairy, right? And you have such a grounded, masculine, graceful energy. So when I was thinking of RESPAIR, I was like, well, it has to be this blend, right, of harmonics. And then harmonizing duality is something that you specialize in. And it's one of the gifts that you have to hold people in relationship and help them elevate their relating just through the power of conversation. So I'm really excited. Should we talk a little bit about the retreat, about Respect?
Yeah, you see, I just want to thank you, because it means a lot to me because I have a high, deep level of respect for the work that you do. And I've also witnessed you in action. I've also witnessed the magic that you've created in various different avenues, of your creativity, be it event creation, photo shoots, your creation of vêtements, the clothing and high vibrational fabrics coming together, and also getting to go with you, to Valladolid. Remember when I came along and just got to see a little bit behind the creative process, and also from your encouragement in my journey. So I want to thank you also for how you show up. Although you speak to that feminine, bubbly nature, but you are the proper balance of all of that aspect, which is why in the creation of this I've been so gung ho, because I feel like there's a way that when you fully embodied and you continue to embody a certain thing, it calls a man into a different degree of himself. And so this is a container that also can call us into that harmony because it's already present. And now people will have an opportunity to be ushered, to be guided and supported in something balanced and healthy to come into this next chapter of themselves. And it's apropos because you are the book doula.
The book doula. Thank you for
Ooh,
that.
yeah.
You, pew, pew, pew. That's the thing is these days to be a powerful embodied woman, you can be super grounded and super etheric. So what I guide my clients to do is to have a beautiful structure in their life, whether they're channeling in a book or a new business, whatever it is, we need structure. And then we need to open our oracular centers so that we're not looking around us for what we need to be doing, but we're channeling it in from the future, from our highest potential. And that's a very different way to play the game, right? It's not by someone else's playbook or swipe copy. You're like, no, this already exists in a different realm. And I'm going to reverse engineer it into reality through the channel of me by clearing out self-doubt, procrastination, doubt, all the gremlins. And so that is my joy because I've walked the path. I've published best-selling books while holding a newborn baby in my arms, solo parenting by your initiation,
Yeah.
right? No sleep. Who needs it? It's gonna come eventually. But on that journey,
You
I've
sound like
realized,
me in that side. Yeah, that's funny.
right?
Mm.
So that's a little bit about me. Definitely etheric fairy with like, I used to work in the United Nations. You're ex-military, I'm ex-UN, ex-government, and we know what it's like to get shit done because we carry the codes of execution. But then when you merge that with magic, with wonder, with silliness, with play and somatic therapies, wisdom, gravitas, you get something special. And I think that's
That's
what we're
right.
going to bring
And
to
then I
this.
want to again, just speak to that. So then, yes, we're sharing about some of the background. So the background is having worked with the military. So I'm a contractor, and I think, who knows, it may happen again because I still work with individuals in that space, but more on the healing side. And so our whole journey's been focused on, and this is what we have in common, creating spaces for people. My brother Om is on here too, and he also worked for the UN. And I've actually had some good times partying with UN people in New York at the Glen Cove Mansion, but it's a story for another day. But it ties in. You see, we've both been in the space of working at a very high level and really coming in with a heart of purity, sometimes naivety, but wanting to create a space and hold that vibration. And so working with men requires also the same things that you've spoken to, not just dropping these men into a cookie cutter, you know, program, but actually diving into who they are. What
Mhm.
is it that they need in life for them individually? What traditions can they let go? What traditions have been fantastic that they can hold on to in order to create and to step into a vision for themselves, and then
Mhm.
have the robustness to actually build that in through discipline, through support, through vulnerability, through artistry and creativity, because they're creators ultimately. So to
Yeah.
come back to that, and so we've created a space and get to co-create a space where people can come back to that and also have a good time and be rejuvenated. And you and I both like luxury, and that's the thing that may be lacking in some areas. We both like it, and we're aware of high quality standards as we hold for ourselves, and you know we can also share experiences with other
That,
people. And this is
that's
what
it.
I've loved about your creative process.
Thank you. Yes, what he's referencing is that I started the North America's first high frequency fashion house that was waste neutral, and I started it in 2020, moved to Mexico, and it was really, really such a beautiful experience to learn about the power of fabrics to elevate us and then just create an entire design collection. And the launch party was the best dance party that, well, just seeing Ez and our friends dancing full on ecstatic dance was just life changing in that space. So yeah, that's the kind of energy that we bring in. And we're going to be hosting this event. It's going to be 4 days, 4 nights, August 8th to 12th this summer. And this is a space that is going to quantum leap you forward to places you didn't even know you needed to go to. Because when you are held in a space by Emily and Ezra, you get access to your own wisdom with a clarity of mirror that's like, for example, we don't usually get to see the night sky with the full Milky Way. Out there in the desert, we're going to be able to see the stars in a way that we don't usually have access to. And that's a taste of what's going to happen inside of the workshops, in the containers, the relaxation, the aqua spa, the massages, and mostly just being together in conversation, right?
Yeah, I love this, and I'm super excited for it because we talk and we've been in all these spaces where people are seeking to create community, and yet they can do so amidst a lot of noise. And so
Mm.
what we get to do is drop the noise. This will be a perfect space for people who are looking to integrate. Really, we already know we're holding space for people who will have been ready to integrate all of the things that have happened up until this point, especially this year, especially with these portals that we're navigating through. And so, you know, this is really going to be that space to quiet down and to really begin to hear from nature. Desert, I've spent the nights and I've camped in the desert before, you know, in Fort Mammoth and by hot springs while watching shooting, firing comets go across the sky. And I think that was probably one of the most magical experiences that I've given to myself in this life. And to do so while thinking to myself, man, it'd be nice to get a massage. Boy, oh boy, could I use a good dinner because I was camping. And so it's like you get this experience, and then at one of the world's top
Boss.
facilities, I'm excited, you know,
I
to hold that space and to probably make this a consistent unfoldment.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think every year we all are going to need a RESPAIR. That's the thing. If I personally don't attend one retreat a year just to receive, then I'm off my game and I'm kind of wobbly. And I feel like everyone deserves this kind of time out, not because their life sucks, but because their life is being elevated and they need the tools and the vision to have that. It's like if you are the captain of a boat, you can't spend all the time down in the hull chatting with guests. You need to go up. You need to go look out into the future. You need to look at the horizon, have that vision moment. And a lot of us don't give ourselves that captain of the ship energy often enough. So
yeah,
this retreat is just one of those chances to take that breath, get that fresh respire, and everyone deserves it. So I've pinned the comment, respairretreats.com is where we get more information.
thank you so much. And so we have, you know, a brother on who also worked with the UN, a good brother who I met here in Tulum, even Radio Tulum, even in the space of dancing, getting to know a little bit about his heritage, which is a unified global heritage, you know. And so it's like you have the question of who would this be good for? And I feel like it's easy to make it broad, but really for those folks who are tuned in and ready to dive into their mastery and to take the time to create the space to rest, to honor their cycle, but to be rejuvenated in the process and to be led through a process of transforming, building structure, and then proceeding, as it were.
Yes.
You know, from that space. So it's a catalyst. Consider this like the most rejuvenating slingshot into this next stage. Right?
Rejuvenating slingshot.
Yeah, there's that
the
pullback. You
image.
know, life has been already giving us enough, and we know what it is to move, to have been in a space like Tulum, or to never have been in a space like Tulum, but to be wondering, is the grass greener on the other side? Where can I go? Is this environment, you know, like what I need? And I think it's nice to step away for a little bit, to have that time to release, to relax, to respire, to catch your breath, and actually feel what it feels like to catch your breath. And then you can take that into the next space before you make the next decisions. And we have a program set up there as well that's going to help people to decide, you know, to speak to actually air it out, which is also part of RESPAIR. What's been going on with you? Where are you at in your relationships? Where are you at with your relationship with yourself, with your heart? What commitments are you open to making? So we're going to cover a lot of bases, but we do it in such a fantastic, smooth, fun, sure, penetrating, and lovely way. So this is part of, for the people who are coming, this is going to be part of their beautiful personal history that we have the honor of witnessing. So I'm excited for them.
I agree. I think this is one of those events that when you're 85 and you're looking at your grandkids, they're like, I remember when I went into the desert and I did this retreat.
You know it's gonna be that. That's right.
This is the people that you meet that are catalysts for your up leveling. And that word is so overused in the spiritual, like up level to where? It's
overused but underutilized in a sense. You know, overused, but to really come into the space of catalyst, because they're going to come into a space with people who are like themselves. So this is also a great networking event to have people that you connect with who are going to also hold you accountable by the nature and the vibration of who they are. And that's what I feel, you know, is like the vibe between us, is that I feel held accountable by just having a friend like you, by knowing a person like you, by knowing someone who creates. When you tell me, as you're prolific, I think, okay, let me take that to heart. And then I reflect upon myself, and that also helped me to kind of focus in and hone in on, well, what will I proliferate? What will I continue to pour through into this world? How can I be stronger with that? And so I'd like to see more of that, you know, for other folks, and to feel that you need a community, proper community.
Proper. And something we haven't mentioned is that whoever joins this 4-day retreat is going to have 6 weeks.
There you go.
Weeks of support
after. Yes, great.
Coaching with us. So it's going to be like this laser focus of love beams, no bullshit, high energy, high frequency. So whatever you envision and decide for yourself during the retreat, we're going to hold you accountable. Because, you know, when I go on retreats, after I go back to my house, I go back to my life, and it can feel shaky to really hold the magic, hold the vision, because you're surrounded by the old in a lot of ways. And so it takes time to really bring that up level energy and anchor it into reality. So we'll be holding you for 6 weeks after, which is unheard of. But Ez mentioned it, he suggested it, and he's the king of integration. So I was like, yes, they deserve this. No extra cost is built in, baby.
And this also, you know, makes my heart smile, because with medicine, with anything, even with people who've had the, you know, experience of working with the military, working as a contractor, working in any job, and retired, you need to integrate the whole journey that you've had. So this is really allowing yourself to make, you know, and receive a real return on investment by solidifying yourself. At the end of every yoga, what do people have? Shavasana. That's the integration. That's when the ground is holding you and you're allowing everything to set and to defrag, and yet you still have the teacher there looking over you during your Shavasana.
True.
And so it's kind of that ethos, which I use, you know, and really get amazing results for the people that I journey with. And the interesting thing is, we started this before even having met some of these folks. So that's a beautiful container to come into, and then to have that support afterwards.
Yeah.
Results, essentially. You have
Well,
that.
go visit RESPAIRRetreats.com to see what Ez is talking about, because he and I have come up with the most lush, luxurious retreat to revitalize you on every level. Your emotional body, your mental body, your physical body, your astral body. We're going to be doing sound therapy, desert walking. We're going to be doing somatic art therapy. Your inner child is going to laugh, cry, glow. And it's a glow up from the inside out, right?
Yes.
So this is, I mean, I'm so excited about all the workshops, but just also knowing that the group has already decided who's going to come together. Like on the astral, etheric
Wow,
realm,
yeah, it's really cool,
everyone's
right?
committed. And so now we just have to feel it, say yes, and then we're going to join August 8th to 12th.
And there's that wisdom there. And also for you brothers, you know, when we speak to the glow up and, you know, all these things, let's not forget now. You're becoming into this space with a very focused and pragmatic man. And so part of us cultivating who we are as men means taking responsibility for bringing in that balance, bringing in, you know, a space and an opportunity to feel ourselves and also to cultivate your own artist, which is like you having the support to take your inner child by the hand and saying, I've got you. I'm going to walk with you. What is it that you chose to be in this life? And then gaining the skills, which would be, they're often surprising to men, the tools that come with being able to just give yourself a breather, but also go into what's alive for you. And so this is very much going to be beneficial to a deep degree for the men, because I've got some interesting surprises lined up for you.
Yeah.
Male and female. But men specifically, I've already seen, you know, the way
I
that this unfolds
love
in
this.
time. Yeah. So if you have any questions about, is this for me, I really suggest that you reach out so we can let you know how it is. And if it's not, trust us to be honest about it too.
Amen. You can book a call. The link to the website is respairretreats.com, and there you'll find many opportunities to book a call to chat with us. What is your intention? What are your struggles? Is this a good fit for you? We'll discuss all of that. There are payment plans, installments, so you just pay a little bit each month leading up to August. It doesn't feel like a burden. This is a beautiful gift to your soul self, to the person that you want to become and you are choosing to become.
Oh, I say. So I'm excited to meet those of you who are catching this for the first time and awakening and remembering that, yes, this is part of and something that's been written into your journey. Looking forward to meeting you, chatting with you, going through all of what it is to choose to go to a retreat and then walk that path to show up and be thereafter.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Emily, for hosting this live. Is there anything else, I guess, that you'd like to touch on? Or
I'm just so excited, and like I said, this has been 5 years in the making that we do something of this caliber, because we've been doing small events and co-creations here and there, but to be at the top 3 spa resort in the world,
be invited into that.
to be invited
by someone who's been paying attention to the work that we do and has also received from our work.
Yes.
I feel it's a beautiful invitation, and so we're going to make it amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for being on this live. Please drop a comment if you are watching the replay and you feel connected. Just send the word RESPAIR and we will send you a link to chat more. I love you so much. If you're feeling the love, know that it is real. Pew, pew, pew.
From the heart, from the corazón.
Okay, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
The portal you're about to go into, and I'll see you on the other side.
See you on the other side. Love you guys. Aloha.
Bye. Ciao.
Bye. That's what we do.